say that you struggle with imposter syndrome at all?
What's that? Again.
So, imposter syndrome is when you feel like you're acting like someone else who's not really you, right? So, like, for example, what I encountered in my personal journey was, let's say I wanted to be healthier, right? I wanted to do more exercise.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to start acting and thinking like someone who did those things. But because I'm not used to doing these things, I feel like I'm kind of a fake or something, right?
I think imposter syndrome was bullshit, by the way. Just so you know, like, I'm sorry.
Goodbye.
No, I'm kidding. But no, like, I believe imposter syndrome is real, of course. I was just making a joke, of course. But I think that if you model someone, like, that's what I deal with a lot. And kind of borderlines on imposter syndrome, but take it like this. If you see something that someone else has that you might want to have for yourself because you know it could prosper you, do it. That's what I do. I have certain role models in my life, like my brother, for example. One of my biggest role models. Shout out him, by the way.
Yeah. Love.
I model him. I look at him and see what he does, how he handles certain situations, and I'm like, I want to be like that as well. So I'm going to act like that as well. If it prospers me and if it makes me a better person in entirety, I think you should do that. And I don't think you should then go ahead and tell yourself and label it as, now I have imposter syndrome, because you're not imposing as anything. You're just taking a grain of salt from someone's can that tastes good.
Yeah.
And you take it for yourself and you're like, okay, this is actually works for myself.
Yeah.
It's just like, if you look at someone who's confident and not confident, there's very clear differences. And I always tell people, if you want to become confident, look at people who are very confident, see what they do, and apply it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's just how success works as well. Success leaves clues, and the person who takes those clues and uses them becomes successful.
Yeah. Facts. Though the reason why I asked about imposter syndrome is because I've understood that if you want to grow, there's no other option but to feel like an imposter.
Yeah.
Right? Because like when you want to grow, that means you're currently at A, you want to get to B.
Yeah.
True. The reason why you're at A is because of all the things that you've spent your time on, or like anything and everything that you think about or have done has brought you to that place.
Yeah.
If you want to get to point B, you have to start doing things that you've never done before.
Definitely.
Let's say you want to lose weight, or you've kind of been, let's say, obese for your whole life. Then you're going to have to start acting and thinking like an athlete or someone who is healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get to where you want to go.
Yeah, literally. Like, imagine, like, you can't get the 6-pack abs if you're still thinking the way a fat person thinks, right?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't work.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. So it's like, if you want to get those 6-pack abs, if you want to get the body that you want, look at someone who already has that, do what they do, and then you'll get it as well. It's honestly quite simple.
But people don't want it though.
Yeah, because they just don't want it bad enough, or they just have something that is stopping them within inside of themselves. I think that's oftentimes what it is. It's something that is inside of us that stops us from doing what we really want to do. And you have to really find out. You have to go deep within yourself. Like I said, I had to take 6 months out of my own life to really focus on, like, get my head in a certain direction, you know?
Yeah.
And not a lot of people do that. Like, actually, I think most people do not take 6 months out of their life to just really focus on, like, themselves.
Oh, no,
you know, it's not an easy thing to do. Like, I'm going to be quite honest. I used to, like, to increase my own focus, you know what I would do? This is going to sound ridiculous. I used to just stare at, like, a rock. I'm kidding you not. I used to stare at a rock for 20 minutes a day just to increase my focus and the ability to focus on things, because your focus is taken away so much in this society and you have no idea. So I had to like regain my ability to just really purely focus on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So, but our brains are also kind of like hot-wired in that sense, right?
Preconditioned.
Like, yeah, exactly. So like, let's say freaking like 2,000 years ago, right? Like if we're too focused and we weren't paying attention to the noise in the bush,
you're dead.
Done.
You're some animal's favorite delicious dinner.
Exactly.
Hey, you're out.
So it's like, it's kind of like rewiring your brain.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they didn't even teach us this in school, right? Like they said, okay, if you want to be healthy, go exercise. But if you want to be like strong mentally, you also actually have to exercise your brain.
Definitely.
On a daily basis, because that's also what it takes.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I mean, like, exercising your brain is one thing, and I feel like working out is a very good start. Honestly, like, because I used to be very, very insecure about myself. Like, I'm going to be honest, I used to have times in my life where I would not want to take off my t-shirt because I was that insecure of just how I looked like. And I feel like when you, especially as a man, you make that decision of saying, look, I don't like the way I look. I want to change. I actually genuinely want to change. I see all these other guys, he gets this girl, he's allowed, he has this confidence. Something's about him, you know, that makes him like have this like magnetic radiance about him or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wanted that. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted that. So what I did is I genuinely had the motivation and inspiration from, this is not what I want to be, so I'm gonna have to change it. I'm gonna have to, like,
yeah. And
responsibility again.
Exactly. You have to choose it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for no one else. Because then it's also like the motivation comes in bursts.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So like what I also had to learn a lot was going to the gym when I was younger. It was always, I need to be ready for the summer.
Yeah.
Summer ends, bro, this winter body came back quick.
Yeah, same,
right?
Man.
So it's like also like reframing, like, okay, but why am I actually doing these things? Right? Like, why am I going to the gym every day? Like,
true. And it's also like discipline as well. I think it's understanding, how bad do you really want this? I mean, of course, like nowadays, there's also like a threshold point, or there's a point where you don't need to do it as much, because also with gym, you build muscle memory, I feel. And then with muscle memory, you can just continue on and not having to train as much. It's the same thing as when you get your first million. Okay, now you got your first million. Now it's way easier to make another million.
Yeah.
Getting to that, like, I'm not a millionaire yet, but I know for a fact that getting the first million is the most difficult part. And after that, you will be able to make money so easily, because so many doors open up to you, and just let's say you can invest 10,000 in here, and that can make another 30,000. That's how quick. And then you just do that multiple times, and it goes really quickly. That's how I feel it goes.
That's just the way it is.